Thanksgiving, self-checkout, and 30 Seconds with Amy. All this and more on today's Brilliant Observations. Do, 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 do. That was a quick one.
Good morning, Melissa. How are you?
Again, mad that you don't sing more. I'm great, Amy. How are you? Full house.
Oh, I am just charmed. You have a full house.
Full house.
Oh, congratulations.
Well, it was full for a hot minute. And then my son said, yeah, I don't need this shit. I can be alone in a beach house. Bye. and he
he didn't go hang out with his friends? He was like, I'm going to the show.
That. So he took his new to me car and said, thank you very much for this new car that you just bought me. I'm leaving you. And he left for the beach. And the one across the hall from me right now has been sleeping for 2 days. What happens in college that you need to sleep for 48 hours just to be human?
I will tell you. Yeah. I will tell you. We are Forrest Gumping it in our house as well. Jedi came home from college and he has been upstairs. He walked in and slept like he hadn't slept in years. He went into his bedroom, slept the first night, so wouldn't wake up, specified what we were to have for dinner that night. I went to the market, bought what we needed for dinner.
Dear listener, this is a boy who gets crab legs at school. Yes. My kids don't get crab legs, and he came home telling you what he wants to eat.
Yeah. And slept through the dinner. I wasn't having it. So at 8:30, I roused him and I said, listen.
PM.
Yes, listen. The dinner has been made. I've been keeping it warm. This is ridiculous. You're going to miss it. Just get up and eat, walk around, and then you can go right back to bed. I know you need to sleep or you wouldn't be doing it. And he's like, you're right. I'm going to come down.
I do love it when they say to you, you're right. What? Because that didn't happen for the first 18 years. So after that, when they're like, you're right. I'm like, wait.
You're so charming to actually feel something from that false claim. Because the next day, it was just sleep child speaking to me. It was just the sleeper child. It wasn't the conscious thought, because the conscious thought would choke those words right out of his mouth, right?
How do we get that sleep child back?
When he was asleep, the subconscious said, make her go away by appeasement. So instead, the subconscious was like, continue sleeping by saying yes. So all he did was say,
right.
Yeah. That's what I've told you this story about the oldest. Yeah, sure. Sounds fun. He would say that so automatically, he didn't even realize he was saying it, and I would sign him up for fucking, Japanese classes and shit that he was never, ever going to do. And then we had this huge fight when I'm like, you told me you wanted it when I gave you the option to say no. He's like, don't you know I never listen to you? That's what I say for you to stop talking. So I did learn many hundreds of thousands of failed signups later that I can't trust anything that they say to me. They're not good kids. They're just not good kids. Happy Thanksgiving.
That's the actual opposite of the truth. But my favorite one is the yeah, no, yeah. Or the no, yeah, no. Like, what the fuck? Just pick one and run with it.
Yeah, no. Yeah.
He says,
no, yeah.
If it's a trio, it's the first and last. If it's a duo of words, it's the last.
Okay.
So if it's yeah, no, it's no. But if it's yeah, no, yeah. It's always the last one. Just pick the last one of whatever they say.
No. And I love those things where in English, we as native-born speakers innately understand the weird
rules.
I don't know. I was trying to think of, all I can think of is lexicon, which is the wrong word. Whatever the word is for explaining why it is we structure our language in the way we do. Adjectives always fall in the same order. You've heard this one before, right?
Of course, but it's worth repeating. Yeah.
So, I'm not going to remember it and I don't know it, but I want dear listener to actually think about it and go look it up. Go adjectives in English, because then all you do is type it into Dr. Google and he'll give it to you without even taking you to a page.
Yeah, it's like number, color, like shape, whatever.
Size, quantity, quality. What your best friend said. So, for example, pick any string of adjectives. A little brown TP, or I mean, that wasn't that many. And I'm just trying to think of something that a big long string. It's always big long string. It's never a long big string. You want to slap someone who says that and say,
Right,
"What's
correct.
wrong with you?"
Because
Give
your
me your
brain
string.
puts it in that order because that's what we were raised to know. But
It's big
yes,
and long. Yeah. So it's like you have to. Their number, quantity, whatever. Ooh, it's big.
I'm like, are
It's
we getting
long.
started at the 5-minute mark
Hey,
of?
hey, I hope, dear listener, I hope we've turned you on. Oh my God, can I just say
you mocking
OnlyFans
me?
accounts?
Are you
No, I would
mocking
like to
me?
be turned on. No, can you say George Santos bought OnlyFans with voter money? I was going to say customer money with voter money.
I just learned from my staff what that is yesterday.
Is that
no,
what he said?
yes, no, you didn't.
You who also played, point guard in Baruch College volleyball, which is not even a position. Like, whatever the fuck. I love it. I love it. I was even thinking to myself, maybe his plan was to be the best liar ever, to tell as many lies, like the biggest and craziest lies. In which
Mission
case,
accomplished.
I mean, now we have one. You are notable for that.
And
Okay,
he can
and I
he
just-
can medal in it if it becomes an Olympic sport. I mean, so could
that's
our
right.
kids, I guess. But
Ultimately, he has a gold belt with a big giant cyan buckle. Why can't I? Here's the problem. I am sitting. It is super
What's the
morning now.
problem? Yes.
It is super morning now, and I've switched my whole setup around. And the window is behind me. To the window, to the wall, to the sweat
To the
drips down
sweat
my
drips off my
balls.
balls.
Oh, you bitches crawl. All right, so
Y'all skeet skeet, motherfucker. Y'all skeet
The
skeet, hot
light-
damn.
I didn't know
Sorry.
that skeet meant to jizz all over the place.
Y'all skeet
I thought
skeet,
skeet
motherfucker.
was like, skeet was like just jazzy for, like to scat. Like in jazz, scat
Oh,
just
scatting,
means
yeah.
boop, boop, ba, ba, boop, boop, instead of scat, which actually means poop. So
And
scat and
skeet.
skeet are sister, because you just go around the front and then let's get back to the window.
around the
So the
corner
light
from
in
where
here-
chocolate is made. Or
The light in here is so chaotic because every time I move my head a little tiny bit, the automatic camera that I'm facing in order to see you goes, wait. You've been on those Zoom calls where it's like dark light, dark light.
You
dark,
just
dark,
did
dark,
it.
dark, dark. I did it, and it actually did it on tempo. It's making me crazy. It's like I'm in a chaos vike. It's called a vice. I'm gonna stand up.
I'm like, what is
And
that?
I'm going to stand up and fix the window, and I'm going to close my vomit trap. And you're going to actually say something that makes dear listener not actually turn this off and go, what the ever living George Santos inspired fuck.
Okay, while she's fixing her window, I have a question. I hope her headphones are still on. I have a question. I got paid the weirdest insult compliment. I don't know. You need to help me figure out if this is a wild insult, which once I thought about it, I took it that way, or it was a compliment. It can't be. There's no way. Okay, ready?
I'm ready.
They told me you are like a sarcastic piñata.
Oh.
What?
Yeah.
Does this mean you want to hit me with a bat? Does this
Oh!
mean because of things
Yep.
I say, you
No,
want to
because
blindfold your friends to beat the shit out of me?
It's a multi-layered assessment, and it starts
Not
with
compliment,
choo-
assessment.
you inspire us to choose violence through your joyful spewing of witty barbs.
You inspire us to choose violence. They followed it up with, you never know what like candy joy pearls are going to fly out of you.
That's
And-
it. That's
and then
it.
I
When
took that-
when we strike, goodness erupts. That's it.
Well, that's the part I had trouble with because to get that joy, you need to beat the shit out of it. You know that first kid who hits it doesn't ever get anything. So it needs to literally be beaten to a pulp till parts of its body are hanging off. And that is when the joy comes out. What are you saying? What are you saying? It was a very, very weird.
It had to have been a child. It had to have been your child
No.
downing you with this new title. What?
No.
Why? What?
It was
Come
an
on.
adult. So lady
adults.
and
Sick of 'em.
gentleman, here we are waiting to beat me with a stick so I could shout something funny and sweet, I guess.
When I hit you, you perform. So it's rooted in violence as well. Right. My pleasure is derived through
hitting you and
sadism?
receiving.
Yes.
Yeah, that's not good.
I always have to think which one is the one that's worse. Actually, is it worse to be a
I think
sadist?
masochism's worse.
You do?
I think that's the pinata, isn't it? Isn't a sadist the one?
A masochist
Yeah.
enjoys inflicting pain, the idea, on oneself. A sadist enjoys inflicting pain on others, or is fascinated by inflicting pain on others. And you think it's worse to be the sadist versus the masochist?
I think you're not
it
hurting
is.
anyone else as a masochist, so you're on your own island of torture. But yes, the sadist hurting other people, hitting me with a bat to get humor, that's mean. Knock it off. Knock it
I'm
off.
trying to pick which one is worse. If we could get rid of one and had to keep the other, it's the only way to get rid of one is to keep the other. Which one do you get rid of? Hurting others or hurting yourself?
Hurting others is
Kind
what you
of-
get rid of.
Yeah, but I wonder if this is the Doctor Who question. If there's two doors in front of you and one can only say yes and one can only say no, and you get one question to get through the door, and oh my God, it's just fucking TV. Tell me the answer, right? What if we say that you get rid of the masochism because if you can't be mean to yourself, you're always in a better place and therefore able
Less
to be
likely.
good to others. And maybe you would realize it's creepy and fucking weird to think that other people being hurt and in trouble is in any way aspirational. I don't know. That's your homework for this week, dear
You've
listener.
really given people too much credit if you say, maybe if you don't hurt yourself anymore, you'd realize, stop right there. I got to know right now, before you go any further, do you love me? I went the other day to Target and I saw that self-checkout is still very much a thing. So my first question
yeah.
for you this week is, hey, Amy, what did you steal this week?
You know, I wasn't even tempted to do so. And I
Really?
did a self-checkout yesterday at 4:30 in the p.m., but it wasn't really me doing it. It was my husband doing the self-checkout, and I was amazed that he selected this option. And so I came up next to him and we were at a convenience store getting stuff to just keep driving. And I thought, there's humans here. Why don't you go I didn't get it. So he specifically walked over to a little self area and then put all his bullshit on the thing and scanned it. So I gave him a few more things and he scanned it. Normally I would just drop that shit in the bag and off I go. But for whatever reason, it didn't even cross my mind. It didn't even cross
steal.
my mind. And I think, and that's good. And I'm grateful for that. I want to be a person who is not in her heart inclined to be a George Santos. I don't want my go-to move to be innate to me, that I'm going to think steal, think murder, but wait, back up, murder bad. Like, I don't want that to be my go-to thought. And I don't know how you change the thoughts that just come with you, that are baked in. So I'm glad that it didn't happen. And maybe it comes from two reasons. Number one,
Your
weeks
husband's
ago-
watching.
No, weeks ago, months, yes, maybe. But again, if I need to do something, I'm doing it. So weeks ago, months ago, maybe at some point, I was in a friend's home. And I maybe told this story on pod, and maybe I didn't because I was so embarrassed of it. I was really tempted to steal a pair of headphones from their house.
What?
Tempted is the word. Yeah, I was tempted to steal a pair of headphones from their house.
I got to tell you, dear listener, it's like
If you
Amy
don't take
is
a
sitting
picture of
in
this,
a...
if you don't take a picture of this,
She's like sitting, like she's in a questioning room of the police office, and they are just questioning her with a light bulb
did you
in
get
her
it?
face.
Because I have to.
Oh, I got
I
it.
can't see.
Oh, I got
anything.
it. Oh, it's been gotten.
It's so bad. Okay. So I was in their home and AirPods were on the table and I put them in my hand because I
Of
thought,
their home.
yes.
Of their home. These are their things in their home.
No, correct. But here's the thought process. AirPods were on the table and I scooped them up and I was ready to put them in my pocket because I thought, fuck you, AirPods. You're not getting away from me again. No, I didn't think I will steal from my friend. That was not the thought. The thought was, these are mine or my child's, right? These are mine or my child's. I don't know whose they are. I don't care whose they are. They're going in my pocket because so many have been lost of ours. Here's a set. I'm grabbing them. And it was not in anywhere in that thought. The originating thought was nowhere. These are my friends. Take from friends. That was not in there. I picked them up in my hand. And that's when I had the thought, maybe these are your friends. And instead of opening my palm immediately, I noticed that I had a second hesitating thought. And that thought was, will they miss them though? Because honestly, how many sweatshirts, ball caps, car tires, bullshit do you trade back and forth? Hot dogs, pick anything, right? There's a little bit of a flex blend.
I got to get in that brain. Hot dogs,
wait,
tires. I got to get in this brain of yours.
It was just a hesitation. It was just a thought. I didn't like that there was a hesitation. I didn't like it. So, and the hesitation was long enough for me to notice the thought. I immediately opened my hand. Things clattered back to the table. I walked away. No one knew I did any of this. I'm just admitting it now that it was a sizable moment to me that I could even have a thought that I have no care for the ownership of things in my friend's home. Because that's not, I don't believe that on any level.
That's not who you are. I know that.
So that ridiculous little thought was startling to even be in my head, right? I'm not a sadist. I would never have a thought like, let's hurt somebody else because that would be fun. It doesn't even make any sense. Doesn't compute. Does not compute. So since then, I really have not that I've tracked it. I haven't really had the urge, to steal shit. But also, have I really needed things? But I would not take from my friends. So I don't want to. Let me
you've
finish
been
this
traveling.
Thought, no, shut up.
So you don't know.
The primary reason that I overcome the frankly right to take things as I need them. I don't get why that's funny. The primary reason that I
steal. I have a right to steal.
You keep labeling things differently. The primary reason that I overcome this has been the moral obligation to raise children and model behavior that I expect in the world. And I do not expect people to take whatever they want from me without my awareness, knowledge, or me giving it to you. It's not that. It has to be a free and agreed upon exchange. And I get that and I support that. So, commerce fits into that category. I get it. I'm not going to qualify it. I just get it. So I have to accept that that's the way that it works in business, right? I don't get to just self-discount, even though, I'm just not going to, all right? So it's part of modeling. But the moral obligation is tricky when there's no one there to benefit from it. It's just me following a code that no one sees or knows about. I mean, it's being good in the dark. They're not learning anything because I didn't steal when they weren't watching.
I cannot wait till this third kid of yours is out of the house and you're like, fuck laws, fuck rules, fuck the neighbor. We are just
become ungovernable. I'm there. Now, so that was sort of like, I would do it, but it would feel like I'm doing it because I'm supposed to do it. Just all the stuff like, you're supposed to not steal, whatever. So blah, blah, blah. Then, so all that is sort of rattling around. That's how I used to feel, which was never really too much pressure to focus on this too much and what's the harm and blah, blah, blah. Then I had this moment at my friend's house and I'm like, that's actually that's a changing moment. I don't want that. Yes. Why would I want that? No. Short circuit in the brain. That's not who I am. And then I think the desire just immediately went away. If there ever was one, the urge is the answer. So what also happened is yesterday I found myself for probably the third time telling people a bunch of negative stuff about myself as kind of like a joke. And I thought, why am I doing this? I don't like this. And so now I'll do it here. I have a lot of speeding tickets. I have acquired a vast and great many speeding tickets in multiple states. So, and this is going back a lot of years, and I haven't had a speeding ticket in a long time, a very, very, very long time.
Numerous states. So the reason I don't travel with my son for lacrosse,
they don't
is
talk.
because
The states don't talk together. The states don't talk to each other. So that's the reason that it's fine.
Oh,
Their
okay.
reporting systems don't connect. Right. So it's actually kind of an interesting mid-Atlantic loophole. My point to you is I was only saying it because I simultaneously get shit for being a grandma too slow, too safe driver, and also being a reckless fucking Maserati head. So it's like, I cannot be both. I cannot be both. So I was just giving the backstory to people that didn't know about a couple dozen of this, that, or the other. So I wanted to make sure. And then as I was saying it, I was like, but that's not what, you don't want these new to you people to know your whole back thing.
All
right?
of your dysfunctions.
If Justin Bieber could like omit several tattoo phases and those
And
fucking
toilet
Crocs,
papering somebody's house for Halloween. Yeah.
you know, if you could just take those things out and have people see you as who you are now, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. So the stealing, I think, falls into that category of, and it's not stealing, number one. I'm not a craven criminal. I don't just wander around and pluck stuff. I did not take headphones from my friend. I didn't.
Yeah, but you also come here and ask for praise for it. So you're aware that.
Why shouldn't I? I don't understand that. What do you want me to say? I took shit from my friend. Am I going to get in trouble?
I didn't come here years ago and say my kid was mouthy to me and I didn't smack him. Like, what? What?
Okay, this was like a month ago. But yes, you do. Yes, you do.
What?
Yes, I'm certain that kid deserved to be smacked. And I'm sure you thought about smacking him. But you also would never have a real thought of smacking him, right? So
Correct.
good for you. And congratulations, because honestly, the longer you ruminate on a thought, you could talk yourself into some wild shit. People do it all the time. They're on the news for very bad things. So it's you gotta check yourself before you wreck yourself. The rappers are always right.
Well, a lot of people have also decided that self-checkout is an opportunity to leave with items for which they did not pay. There was a whole article in my local patch saying, "Dear so-and-so," meaning Target and Wegmans, all of our stores here have a self-checkout component. Some of them get bigger and bigger as the months progress, as the years go on. And their loss has gone from the 7%, 9% that they allowed for when they opened store to 30%, which is a jump that is astronomical.
Well,
So
yes,
people are
tough
taking
news.
things because their answer is, the article said, I don't work here. You do. You pay employees. The reason I pay such a high price for eggs and milk is because you have to have employees who work here. You pay them and you pay their health insurance. I, on the other end, pay a little extra for X, Y, and Z. If I'm doing my own checkout and now you're giving me an evaluation that I did it wrong or I didn't do it well or oops, I forgot to charge myself for X, Y, or Z. So they are cutting back on self-checkout in my area.
I think
because
they
of
should.
loss.
I think they should. I think they should. And I don't even appreciate. I appreciate nothing about self checkout. It's
I
never
agree.
faster.
Correct.
It
Unless
only
you have one
benefits-
item.
It only benefits them. It only benefits them. It doesn't benefit the customer. So
And as
what
long
did
as
they
it
expect
does,
was going to happen?
they're happy to do it. But right now, their loss is through the roof. For
And
what?
I'm here to tell you, I would give people discounts all the time. I would fraud that shit up. That's part of why I am like this. One of my early jobs as a teen was to go and work at the local R.H. Missy & Co. And, you know, I saw the buyer's reports of what they were paying for the items they were selling. So I knew the swing. I also knew exactly what the sales were going to be and when they were coming. And if somebody comes in and is very carefully, very concerned, trying to manage a cart to be able to get their 2 kids outfits, and the kids want this third thing, and they're really with a calculator doing the math, I would walk to them and say, you know, we're actually having a sale on these things and it starts tomorrow, but I'll give it to you today. So let's come on over. And I would just fucking ring them up and whatever the fuck I wanted. Happy birthday. And you know what else? Because we'd be selling that shit at a loss for pennies on the dollar 2 weeks from now when nobody bought it. So it did feel a little bit like a customer appreciation event on my part. But
Santa, Amy.
this was before cameras. And it was only when they would check the receipt tape. Oh, here, see, I didn't go so far as actual fraud. And don't come at me with your actual fraud. That's fucking fraud.
All right, so we
Over
are
to you.
recording early today because we are in Thanksgiving week. This will actually drop on Thanksgiving. So as much as it is a holiday of totally decimating an entire peoples, which I don't support. What I do support is the fact that it brings people together. I mean, let's not dig too deeply at this scab, but let's just look around the table and be grateful for the company you keep. And if you don't have company, come join us at the beach because it's just my family. My nuclear quattro.
Oh, that's so weird. Are you excited?
Well,
Are you forlorn?
We have a Wednesday of 8, a Thursday of 4, and a Friday of like 15. So we will see.
So you're not sad at all. Yeah.
No.
Okay,
and the idea of spending time with just the 4 of us together is magical to me. But the real question is, Amy, there are a couple.
Ma'am.
Amy, as far as, first of all, are you cooking for Thanksgiving?
Nope.
When you
I
go
have
up
invented
north,
a way to cook. Yeah. Go ahead.
when you go up north, what are you preparing for this event? Because I know whatever you're making, and probably your sister too, is going to be the very best part of this meal. And I need to know. I know we're not at the cookie stage. That's the next break. So right now it's the
And that, yep.
sides.
So
what are your sides?
for my entire life, and I truly mean my entire life,
She's
was
a wall washer. Yeah.
varying stages of, assistant sous chef all the way up to primary executive, right? So there's always involvement in planning, creating, shopping for, producing, serving, cleaning, decorating the meal. Always. Never at my house, but we have a large enough family that it takes many hands, and that was always my role. COVID changed all that. My mom stopped being, as the grandmother of all of us, stopped being the house where it is held, and she gave up the reins of putting on the meal, which was big for her and big for the rest of us. Now that my sister took it over, the first one was really challenging because all traditions were broken in the fact that it was in a new location.
Right.
And she is 1 and 2 years later decided that I don't need to subscribe to your traditions. I do what the fuck I want. So she makes the turkey the way she wants to. My sister is a gourmet foodie. She lives in a historic property on an estate that is not hers. She's a caretaker of the estate. She has a penchant for collecting fine china. She regularly hosts tea for the folks who work at the museum where she lives, and they call it the Downton Abbey tea because of all the shit that she put. It looks like you're on the set of Downton. It's crazy. So knowing all this, and the patterns that she picks are so fucking fun. The plates, I'll have to put, somebody knows what they're called. I forget. It's like a working scene. So imagine a bone china plate, the whole 9 yards shoot match play setting. It's like a sepia brown printed on there, and it's a working scene of a farm. And I think it's called like country castle or country. I think that might be the pattern name. It's a white plate with multiple shades of, like a toile, multiple shades of brown.
I so need a picture of this. I love
it's
it
like
already.
gray and brown, and there's like a horse in a carriage and like a little castle in the corner.
Gina,
and
throw it
trees
up.
and shit.
Throw it up on
It's gorgeous. It's so gorgeous.
site.
So even the whole place settings are just idyllic. And then she is doing things like smoked trout dip and crab this shit that she's just making a good meal.
Wow.
So every year it's like it's a feast in all the ways. You know how you see on TikTok and everywhere else the people saying don't experiment on Thanksgiving.
Right. This is
Don't
the day where
experiment
we
with
know
the
what we're
macaroni
getting.
and cheese.
Yeah.
That's how it was for 97 years of my life. And then my
Right.
sister has also decided I can experiment because I'm a fucking wizard. And she pulls it off. So her experiments, you never know what you're going to get, and it is worth it.
And you're never
So
disappointed.
I'm never disappointed. So I go there, and I'm back to assistant sous chef. I show up at her house early, and I wait for instructions, and she tells me what to do. So if that's go, change the flower display out front, or water this, or put all the napkins out, or fry this thing in this pan, or take these things and put it in that dish and then warm that, blah, blah, blah. She runs the kitchen efficiently, and I go there to help. But I'm not actually cooking anything. So we stay with our parents. We have a family tradition of Italian wedding soup, and we do it very differently than you see it in restaurants. Every
Meatballs.
Italian
Do you have
family
meatballs
has their
in there?
own deal. No, we don't. Our Italian wedding soup is greens and chicken, and then we have what we call cakes that we put in it. And if you can imagine making a sponge cake that's savory. So you know what a sponge cake is, right?
Sure do.
Think like Twinkie, but nicer, right? So it's that kind of a very spongy, you squeeze it with your fingers and it bounces back. A very, very, very porous kind of a little cake. So ours is made with butter, parsley, and Parmesan cheese. And so the whole thing bakes up into this light, fluffy, floral, cheesy, gunk, gunk, gunk. And then they look the size and shape of croutons. You cut them into squares, and then you throw them into the soup, and they both soak up the soup and float. And and I guess that's what we do instead of meatballs. So it's chicken escarole, chicken stock that's been boiling away for 1,000,000 years, and then the cakes, and then you serve it with locatelli cheese on top. And it's amazing. It's refreshing. It's good. It's nice. So anyway, my mom, I can never make the cakes properly because my parsley always sinks to the bottom of the cake. And people say, flour the parsley and it won't sink. Just like you flour blueberries and they don't sink to the bottom of your sponge cake. Guess what? I flour them. Doesn't work. My mom never flours the parsley and it always comes out perfectly. So I finally said, listen, I know you're not even making the soup to bring it. Let's spend the day making the soup. You can teach me how to do this. And I won't get it in one.
Love that.
But we're going to... And my son wants to learn it because it's his favorite as well as the soup. So we are making, but just for fun. Just for fun. So
no, it's
theoretically,
for passing that torch. I love that.
Theoretically, I'll know how to make the soup. And she wrote me more than 10 years ago in her own hand. She wrote me out the recipe, and I've been following it, and I fuck it up every time. Do you know how frustrating it is to sort of know enough about what you're doing and not be able to do something?
Wait, let me check.
It's very frustrating.
Yeah, I'm aware. I'm aware of that feeling. I relate. I don't have to be clearer. Yes, it's something with which I am intimately related. And
fuck off and fuck off and fuck off. But you know what? Do you understand what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
Right? If you have an area that you feel... nominally competent.
Some sense of confidence in making and everything. Yeah, I get it.
I accept that I probably cannot point brick as well as a mason who's been practicing this for several generations. But I mean, I also kind of think I probably could. So there's part of that problem too. So I don't like trowel work. Make these cakes.
I know it's called a trowel. I've seen enough trowel work to hang the fucking tiles in my bathroom. No. You get those little plastic tables from the pizza boxes, and you put them between each tile, and then you smear something, and you follow it up with a wet rag. Whatever, I got it.
Welcome.
I got it.
Welcome.
Got it.
Welcome to the party. Welcome to the party.
Water chestnuts. Are they not the most
Hello.
refreshing, delightful vegetable?
Wow.
Don't they belong in stuffing?
God. They can. They can.
You don't think
They're
so?
allowed.
You don't think so?
No. They can. They're allowed. They're allowed. Sure. Yeah. My husband won't touch the outside of a can of water chestnuts. That's how far away from them he wants to be. He thinks they're disgusting. I like them. I do like to eat them. But they don't really deliver anything beyond soggy crunch, which is a weird combo. So I don't know what
I'm a crunch whore. That's if it crunches, I want more of it. Give me more.
You can get there with something like maybe a little bit of apple would be fun, or some
that's
nuts.
delightful.
Also
I like that.
Give you legit crunch.
Little walnut in there or pecan.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. I like that. Will you be having stuffing at your sister's Thanksgiving?
Oh, 100%. She's the guaranteed. The entree will be turkey. All the regulars will be represented. But for example, she doesn't make the turkey in the traditional sense, and by that I mean she takes the time to brine it with like lots of herbs, and so I mean it's a proper turkey cooked properly. But as opposed to the traditional way is we put garlic under the skin, we put butter on the thing, we salt it inside and out, we put it in high, we turn it down low. Like you have the recipe and you just follow that recipe for 90 years. She's tweaked it so that it's the most delicious, moist, juicy turkey that you've ever had in your life. And people who don't like turkey like my sister's turkey. Like she just knows how to fucking cook. So my mom knows how to fucking cook. This is not about that. But my mom had become a slave to the tradition. And the tradition included everything right down to the time that we start cooking this particular item. Like it was all of it
Clockwork,
became
yeah.
a kind of ritualized in a way that I love. So it was hard to transition from that, but I also do like a tasty meal. So yeah, let's hit it. That's good. That's
Cranberry sauce, shape of the can or turds with orange zest in it? How do you prefer that? Oh God.
I think I'm getting a hint as
Of
to
how I
your
feel?
preference.
If it doesn't take the
Okay.
shape of the can, I'm not interested.
Well,
It's the sound it needs to make as it hits a plate.
as I trust that I can do in so many things, I will change your heart. I love cranberry from the can with the ridges.
Yay!
Even unsliced. I love it unsliced so you can still see the whole can.
Love it.
And then you slice yourself a slab. I love it.
Fits
I
perfectly
also
on the meat.
love
Yeah.
using the raw ingredient to make a delightful chutney style sauce and accompaniment. It is delicious and can be delicious in lots of different ways. So branch out. We always serve both, always have. So
Oh, good.
there's no
Okay.
fighting.
Tell Gina to set another place. I'll be right there.
Yes.
Any other thing you're really looking forward to this Thanksgiving as we
Well,
celebrate?
I am a family gal, so it's 100% is seeing the people and being with the people. And all of my nieces are now, my kids are far and away the youngest. And ad nauseum, you know how old they are. So all of my nieces are getting marrieds and having major life events and having, huge showcases of their art. And it's just like, fuck you. And getting graduate school degrees and all this crap.
Love it.
So it's gross. It's just gross. It's
No,
just
I
gross.
love it. I love it.
It's not. It's just gross to be talking to this stranger adult.
Right.
Yeah,
Who
because
was a
it's
child
like
10 minutes ago.
it's like, how did you get this grown-up person costume? Because you're still just the little baby.
How
Like,
are
it's
you
just-
so
they-
impressive when 45 minutes ago you ate 5 blue fruit roll-ups and I had to change your diaper and
stuck 2 of them in your ear, one up your nose. So I love. It's a weird. It's not like a pride moment where you just are bursting with, I love this blossoming and I'm so happy and everything. It's like a bittersweet because I have to snap instantly into who are you and wow, who are you? Like it's just the process of getting to know them so briefly for 2 holidays back to back once a year. Because that's really all it is. I don't have any kind of, and me, right? They have this specter and image of me that is only a sliver of who I am. So it's bittersweet
Fair.
to be in
That's
those
fair.
social constructs. And that's really how it has become with outside of my parents and my sister, to some degree my brother. I don't really talk to him that much, but even when you're talking to him, he has no interest in talking.
back
right?
to the
It's
car.
like, let's go do. Yeah. Let's go
Back
do
to the
something
car.
so I don't have to. Yeah, back to the car.
Cut
So
to
that's what I'm looking forward to. What I'm also looking forward to is an end to the fucking macaroni and cheese nightmare that has become my life.
I don't know what to say. How is it a nightmare? What are you talking about? Mac and cheese is the perfect food and 4 cheeses.
Okay.
Did it come
Okay,
from a
I don't
box
know-
with bright orange
I don't know
cheese powder?
if this falls along racial lines. I don't know if this falls along geographic lines, but both of them matter in this context, in this culinary context. And
Breadcrumbs.
macaroni and cheese
What's the debate?
has no business on a Thanksgiving table. And I know this because you don't serve it, and you don't know anyone who serves it.
I
and
do
you
know
are
someone
white
who
and
serves
from
it.
the Northeast. Who
No,
are they? White?
Yeah, my sister-in-law will be serving. Her kids asked for it, but my sister-in-law will be serving mac and cheese with.
That's different. If she's
Thanksgiving
planning,
dinner.
if she's serving it as an appeasement item, that's different. If when you're having a menu, that's not. You think turkey, stuffing, cranberry sauce, macaroni and cheese is not a Thanksgiving food. Macaroni and cheese is not a Thanksgiving food. Macaroni and cheese is not a Thanksgiving food. But my children, in sensing the shift, the tectonic shift
yeah, as the plates
in
move.
menu flexibility,
Yeah.
right? Immediately self-advocated the week of Thanksgiving, the first year my sister hosted it, and said, "Can we have macaroni and cheese because she's such a good cook?" And I refused to ask her, because you don't ask somebody a week before what.
To
First
add
of all,
to their
you never
menu.
ask somebody to fuck with their menu. You just never ask that. You don't ask that. When they ask you, what would you like on the menu? That's when you can very casually drop 3 things, one of which you say, well, my favorite is this. And then you mention 2 other things that they love to make anyway, so that it's always up to them. It's her fucking menu. It's her house. It's her menu. You don't question the menu. And certainly, you don't bring your fucking culinary requests the week before a major event where you have 24 people for a full sit-down multi-course meal. No. So I wouldn't do it. And then my kids were up in arms and were going to call her directly. And I was not going to put her in the situation to now
Say no
have
to her
to do it.
nephews. Yeah.
You don't say no to your fucking nephews. I don't say no to my nieces. You just don't. So I couldn't do it. So I called her separately and I said, listen, will you join me in the secret sidebar? And she did. And she said, of course you would. Right. And I said, I would like to ask you a question and I would expect you to say no. So here's how we're going to do it. So I asked her, I said, my children, blah, blah, backstory. And she was like, fuck, how are we going to get out of this? And I said, well, why don't we do this? Why don't we, I'm trying to remember how she's the one that came up with it. She's like, why don't you just say that you never asked me or something like this? Like whatever the thing was, we had worked out a plan where I was just going to take the hit. And then I said, and now I feel like a good mom because on the off chance that you're like, yeah, I'll have my daughter make it. Who gives a fuck? Then they would get it anyway. That's what it was. So I tried to advocate for my kids, but I also understood, right? And I said, I would never even do this. And she's like, yeah, why don't we instead, let's just stick with the plan that you never asked me. And I said, great. So all year, these fuckers have been in my face. She wouldn't even ask her. I know she would have made this macaroni and cheese. She would. So I'm getting dinged for some shit
She
that I
loves
did on
us.
their behalf anyway.
Right.
For a year. And then I finally came clean because I was so sick of it and told them, and they didn't believe me. So I got so fucked on this macaroni and cheese bullshit. So fucking fucked. We now have T-shirts that are rolling up to this house saying I'm only here for the macaroni and cheese, and it had better be on the fucking table this year. I'm fucking out. I'm so mad at this shit. I just want them to put a forkful in their face and leave me the fuck alone. I cannot wait for 20 years from now for this to be the macaroni and cheese, because it's not fucking funny to me. It makes me very upset and angry. Super disrespectful all the way around. I got fucked. I got so fucked on this, and it's a dish that I make. God damn it. I don't want to be mad on this show, but that's the way it's going to be. I don't know what to say to you.
Will there be mac and cheese this year? Will they have it? Will there be that breadcrumb topping on top of 7 cheeses?
Yes. Because after this, she's going to, I don't have to, that's not even the right way to say it. I would never bother to presume that I have to question a direction or a choice or a recipe. If I simply list a category of food stuff, it's going to be prepared in a way that is going to blow my mind from my sister. So if I simply say, is it possible to include macaroni and cheese on the menu, then next year, and for her to say, of course, then I have no idea how it's going to arrive.
I can't wait.
It's
I want to see the plates.
More of a souffle or
and
whatever.
I want to see the mac and cheese. I'm in it for the plates and the mac and cheese. Please post. I cannot wait to see those. We have talked about self-care 1,000 times in 1,000 different ways. We respect our friend Sarah on the West Coast for finding ways to float. We respect our friend on the East Coast for finding a sauna to sit in and correcting everybody about how to say the word sauna because, you know, those Mainers are very snotty. There is a new spa that has come to my area, and I would say it won't it won't last 10 minutes, but it is the third one they've opened. So now it's a chain. It's Renewal Studio.
By Anderson. It's Windows.
Renewal by Anderson. It is Detoxify. It's a detoxification studio that provides stress relief and with infrared saunas, red light therapy, and 6D massage pods. Pardon?
6D massage. Is that 6 dicks? What's that? I'll try it.
I would try that.
I actually saw.
I thought you were saying I've actually tried a 6-dick massage.
My
and it's not what
massage
you
place. I go to a day spa, which is okay in the form of day spa. It's not highfalutin or whatever. It's here and it is capable.
It's just regular falutin.
And it's regular falutin, right?
Yeah.
It's regular. It's
Just
normative
generic
falutin. My massage therapist is next level, best I've ever had in my life. Anywhere she goes, I will go. She's never allowed to retire. She's a grandmother. Like, she's just the best. That she's from, I forget which island in the Caribbean, with a strong accent. She is fucking insanely great, right? From New York area,
Trinidad,
originally.
Tobago,
And or had spent time there and used to work on like pro athletes. Like, she gets it, and she's very physically mean. Like, she'll just put you in
exactly
pain. And
what
then
you need.
walk around. I love it. So I went to their website and I looked. They're doing Black Friday, and I was going to do a little couponing.
Love it.
They now offer something called a 4-hands massage, which seems as creepy as it sounds. And when you look at it, they have a picture, and it's 2 massage therapists working you at the same time.
I feel like that's a
Jetsons
scene. Remember when they lay down for massage and all these arms came out? And
don't you have to? I mean, who wants to be the massage therapist that's double teaming this person? Don't you have to have such simpatico? Like, you can't just, we got one clown booked at 4 hands, and then you got somebody who's like, the pressure has to be right. Like, it's just, that's a skill.
That phrase 4 hands is going to follow me for the rest of this week.
It's like your 6-dick massage that you're getting ready to get over at your new Detoxicate. What's it called? What's the name of the spa? Tell them.
Detoxify? I don't know. It doesn't matter. Don't go.
Okay.
There's more. But
you're going.
6 dicks and 4 hands? Come on. What? That's a massage I want in on.
I feel like it's supposed to be 4 dicks and 6 hands.
Nope. 4 hands, 6 dicks. 4, 6. It's the perfect 10. It is the perfect 10. That's how I like it.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Your first stop is at an infrared sauna. It provides a warming
I want
feeling.
infrared so much. Yes. Are you doing infrared? Please say you are.
Endorphins to enhance your mood. What got me or upset me was that it heats your body from the inside out, like you're walking on the beach. So there's no humidity. There's no humidity. It's just heat, heat, heat. And I think of a friend of mine who still tans. She goes tanning twice a week because I know.
Oh, no.
I know. It makes me crazy. And it hurts more to love somebody who makes choices like that.
Yeah. If it's the only...
It's like a microwave. It's
cancer
cooking
risk.
Yeah.
Yeah. If it's the only cancer risk, or if there's so little... I'm trying to think of the carcinogenic behavior in this person's life. If that's the only one, I can kind of get behind it. It is really, really risky for the skin, and it actually does damage in terms of making you look older and aging you. So none of those things are great. But there are some folk who their skin color, if they don't get a little color in it, you look like you dead. And I mean, I understand, so I mean, you kind of have to. Everybody's got to do what they got to do.
Dead or dying.
We all dying. It's coming for you. Nobody has escaped it yet. Sorry, Jesus. Nobody. It's coming for us all. All right, back to your spa. Tell me more about.
That's the first stop. The first stop is the infrared sauna, where it cooks you from the inside. Your second stop.
I want one of those in my house. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. Can we trade in the hydro that none of us use and put in a spa sauna in there instead?
Easy now.
The second stop is red light therapy. It's a 10-minute session.
Yes.
You stand between panels of red light, and the session will stimulate your cells. And it wants you to know it's a private room. So as you stand there, having your cells infrareded, you're alone.
Well, it does penetrate through clothing, so you don't have to be nude, but it is better the more skin contact you can have. And those things can be a scam unless they're in a physician's office, because they don't actually license or sell the high enough wattage for it to make a difference. It does make a difference. That's like
laser
in terms
work
of
too.
healing.
Yes.
So I want it for me. But Dr. TikTok says don't buy it over to the TikTok.
Yeah, I wouldn't do it myself because I might have volunteering too much, gone for like a hint of toe fungus with a laser thing. And he said people are buying lasers for their homes, and they are not the lasers that are therapeutic, which is, I think,
They're
what
like
you're saying. You need a
they're like
therapeutic level.
flashlights.
Right.
Yes.
So you think you're doing something, but in reality, you're wasting time, and clearly you've wasted money. The third stop at this spa has a 3D massage therapy, but they're lounge chairs, and it does not go on about the 6D six-dick massage. So I'm a little disappointed in the article, but
I don't get what the D is about, and what is 3 and 5 and 6, and like what are they saying? A
They have
massage is
6
tactile. It's happening in the real world.
right. The lounge chairs are in a greenhouse type paradise, which is a 3D massage lounging chairs. Like it's going to Sharper Image and sitting there, but you're in a small greenhouse and they have 6 rollers. Maybe that's the 6D. No, that's just a chair, dude.
Oh.
No.
Okay. Well, maybe it's like that hump-a-log that all those girls are doing in New York.
I'm going to need
caught
you
her
to
attention.
keep talking about that. I'm going to need you to follow through
You
with
don't
that
know,
thread.
You don't know about the hump-a-log? Surely you've seen the hump-a-log. Are our TikToks not the same?
They
Have
are
not
not.
aligned like our menstrual cycles? Okay.
They are
You haven't seen the
not.
hump-a-log?
Please keep talking.
It's a giant, it's probably a myofascial release drum. So it's probably, imagine a rolling pin that has lumps and bumps on it. So instead of being smooth, it's got like the equivalent of tennis ball notches on it, right? Now picture there's 90 of those all next to each other, and all of them are spinning. So they're spinning around in individual circles.
Now picture
and then they're going,
there's no rolling
they're
pin
going
at all.
in a circle. Right. So just,
Okay.
we're going to get Neil deGrasse Tyson on here to explain it to you. So it's a giant spinning drum of individually spinning spindles. Each of the spindles are rigid and lumpy. And the women mount this thing like they getting ready to get it on.
So it's like a
and they do
Sibian.
so that their inner thighs are getting pummelabeated from these. And it's supposed to make your thighs somebody else's thighs, I guess. It makes all of your skin go, ow, 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 get off. I'll be thin for you. Fuck. And then all the fascia just goes away and your cellulites go away. They get on this thing and they lounge their ass against it. I don't know. It could just be another Temu plot where they're just trying to sell the drum, so they put a pretty girl
Does
on
it
there
get
looking like
you
she's
hot?
getting off.
Does it
So
get
that
you off?
you sitting on a rotating spindle drum that's painful? I don't know.
I don't know.
How have you not seen this? Now that I describe it, do you know exactly what I'm talking about?
I do not.
You've not seen any of this?
No, I think
This
of the
is o-
Sibian as you
This is
describe
old
this.
NEWS.
All right, well, you're going to need
I
to
don't
send
know
me
what
that next
that is.
TikTok that comes in.
Is that a sex thing?
Yes, the Sibian is a vibrating like saddle where you put different attachments on it, and it inside you and around you, and it's the biggest sex toy first discovered on the Howard Stern show, where strippers would come and sit on with their different attachments and have orgasms right there on El Radio. Look, I don't get a TikTok that
Yep.
has that.
Yeah, that feels like a good morning show.
Feels like judgment on your part.
No, have you ever had the one where they do the massage of the inside of your mouth? I'm sorry.
No.
I'm sorry. I've never said it out loud before.
No.
I've never said it out loud before, and I just realized how stupid that sounds. They do a buccal massage, or maybe
Why
it's
are
pronounced
we-
buccal. So whatever your buccal folds on your face, they put gloves on, and while they're doing the facial
Okay,
massage,
well, at least they put
they
gloves
stick their
on.
fingers on the inside of your cheek, and they drag and pull your mouth open like you at the dentist or something, or some kind of something. And they go, wow, 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 and they pull it all out to the side, and then you walk out, and you're an influencer. That's it. That's
and
what
your
happens.
lips are
You have to
hanging
sit
at
on
your
the
knees.
humpadrum though
You-
before.
Hop on this Sibian while we play with your mouth. I'm
You
sorry.
don't. I get a lot of this shit from like gua sha and facial yoga and like neck exercises. I don't do any of it. I watch it and I think maybe if I watch it, my neck will get smaller. So I get all that. I get a lot of that Barbara Eden. It's not what her name is. That little Australian weird lady who wants to put yam cream all over your parts, castor oil up your twat, all that stuff. You don't get any of this?
I don't get any of that.
I'm being targeted. I think I'm being targeted. I think I'm being
You are
targeted.
definitely being targeted. I just want to know what your algorithm says. What I get comedy. I get
I don't get that.
You don't get comedy. I get whatever the
No,
get
I
ready
don't.
with me bullshits are. But mine are probably telling
I
me.
hate those.
Mine, I swipe as fast as I can. Mine are probably telling me you could benefit from makeup and caring about what you look like, and yours are telling you sit on this and get
You
off.
need to get on top of these buccal folds and let somebody else stick their parts inside your parts.
I see
That's
you
what they
use your
want.
mouth a lot. Let's see if I can massage it to give you a better opportunity to enjoy that.
I get like Huberman husband and somebody Gary Brecka. And
I get a
get
lot of
Barbara
Travis
O'Neill.
None
Barbara
of it. I get none of that.
O'Neill. Anna's wild yam cream will balance your hormones, and men can
None of
take
it.
as well as the women can take it.
I
on
get
your
the
abdomen.
Kelsey brothers, Taylor Swift. I get all of that shit, but nothing like that.
I get little weird people with a stand in front of a whiteboard wanting to tell you shit.
Yeah, I
that
don't
nobody's
want your
listening to but
TikToks.
me.
Send me nothing. I don't want your TikToks. That would have me off TikTok. I did discover being on TikTok, though, that Matt Rife, who is a comedy phenom, they'll say
Okay.
he's been doing it for 12 years, but he went on TikTok and started releasing his crowd work on TikTok, and he exploded. Handsome young kid. Yeah, not really my taste type, whatever, but his crowd work is fire. He's hilarious.
Sounds perverted. It's
He's-
so gross when you say crowd work.
He is very perverted. He is very young, and my point to Amy is this. He has brought
I had a
back
mouthful of coffee. I couldn't say anything. Oh my God. Welcome to the party, pal.
Thank you. Comedy, I think, is returning the way we knew comedy to be. Remember how everybody got super careful, can't say this, get canceled, blah, blah, blah. All the can't talk about. Matt Rife talks about everything. He said, when God takes away, he gifts another. There was this slow kid in school, but it turned out his dick went down to his knees, and we saw it in gym class, and he would chase us around with it. Like, you're all of a sudden making fun of mentally challenged people by being gifted in other ways and all of a sudden I thought, oh my God, I'm giggling at something that's really Oh, I have not heard a comedian talk this way in years. It's been years. So I think John Buchanan's type of comedy is well on its way back, and I think it's starting with the younger generation, because if that's who's saying it, that's who was getting pissed about it too. So if they're pulling it back, then I'm going to giggle a little.
I don't know. That's such a curious observation. I think you're on many levels. You're right. I'm not sure if I'm willing to fully endorse.
Oh, I don't
am
know that I
excited
endorse
at a
it, but
return
it's
to.
back.
No, endorse that I agree with your opinion is all I meant.
Oh.
I don't know if I 100% agree with you is what I'm saying. I think that a lot of that is right, that it's returning. Because the other question is, has it ever really left? Or was it just forced underground and we now have avenues that give us insight into what's underground? I don't know. Here's the thing. I love, and I do feel, a return to comedy that is, this is a wrong word, but for the sake of getting a word out quickly, more intellectual, more conceptual. Comedy that is about something that is not your genitals. I'm just sick of it. Just bodily fluid. And I mean,
That's what this
there's
podcast
relatable
is for.
that can be really, really funny. Now, what else do you have?
Right.
So
Make me think a little.
and I think that comedy is having a resurgence in public awareness, thanks in part to streaming services and Netflix and networks all getting on board, and writer strikes and content, dips, where we have access to it. You can watch not only comedy specials, but comedy cavalcades and just comedy. It's everywhere. And so there is a push for a wider audience. So they're looking for things that are, I don't necessarily like Jim Gaffigan, who's known as like a clean comic, but I do really like Nate Bargatze, who
he's
is known as a
fucking
clean
hilarious.
comic.
Well, because he digs on
I
his
think
wife.
he's hilarious.
It's a relationship humor, which I love.
He talks about things that as you're listening to it, it is really funny, and at the same time, it doesn't, like, I feel like there's a degree of difficulty in talking about. Bill Burr is really, really funny and can be really, is that the right one? The little bald angry guy who's friends with Conan O'Brien from Boston?
Yeah.
Is that him?
Yeah. He's great. He's
I was trying to
raunchy
remember
as
if that's
fuck.
the right
He's
name.
great. Yeah.
He can be But he's not always raunchy. He can be really, really funny because he's talking about things that I want comedy from people who are talking about things that matter to them, that are relatable to us, that we can not learn something, but we can think about maybe from a new perspective or join them in laughing at this perspective that we're all unaware of. Like they sort of pull the veil back. Look at how funny and stupid we all are and we never even knew it. Like that's the kind of comedy. And that's probably what's happening with Matt Rife, who I don't know. But if he's doing crowd work, that's the best crowd work tends to be when you're surprising the person, catching them off guard because you're quicker than they are. And I'm thinking about Robin Williams in particular, who was his off the cuff ability to give me what you got. I'm going to riff with it. And it's also hilarious. I love that. I love that. So if that's what this guy is in the category of doing and aspiring to, I want more.
He's all over my TikTok. I'll send you one and then he'll start showing up on yours. I would like.
Well, now that we've said it and my phone's in the room, I'll definitely get it regardless. Sorry, phone. Yeah.
Sorry, phone.
And you're gonna get the humpadrum.
No,
you're gonna get the humpadrum. Fuck it. I can never influence the algorithm because I don't know what it's called, and I don't know what it's called. Humpadrum doesn't mean anything.
It does to me now.
TikTok doesn't know what humpadrum means.
Can you tell me more about the? Can you tell me about the hubris of youth, please?
I can, and it's a shocking, terrifying thing. I was at a lacrosse tournament again. Surprise, surprise, this weekend, and just chatting with some of the parents who I only see at lacrosse. How are you? What's going on? How are the kids? How's everybody doing? Blah, blah, blah. You got one overseas. Blah, blah, blah. How's that? And I just found myself rambling and saying, my husband is far more concerned with knowing his location than I am because I couldn't remember what country he's in right now. Because the child travels so much. For example, he has there is no Thanksgiving in Prague.
Really?
So through some happenstance, they have combined their break into one extended break. So he has the next 14 days off.
Wow.
So it is a break over Thanksgiving. But yeah, nothing to do. Nowhere to report. And every time I'll get a text from him, it'll be like in some different country because most weekends he leaves the country and goes somewhere else. So come to find out, he's going to Italy. He's going to Rome, Florence, Siena for an extended trip. And then he's going somewhere on the back of that. And I don't remember. So I was even saying my husband tends to get freaked out by not knowing what country he's in. And I don't really care. I mean, they're all the same not here to me. Like it doesn't matter to me if you're in Amsterdam or Vienna or I don't care where, because you're just not here. What's the difference? Right. But then I thought, well, I guess I should know. I guess I should. So I chatted with my son a little bit more carefully and said, tell us when you're actually leaving so I can know the days that you're in the air, right? That you're actually flying. And he goes, yeah, because we were able to get this really cheap flight. We took a stand-up plane.
I'm sorry, what?
I said, you said you did a what now? You did what? We took a stand-up flight to London because it was our best option. I'm like, first of all,
best option for death? What are you talking about? I can't carry a fucking hat on my lap. It has to fit safely.
A stand-up plane where they put a bunch of, I guess, idiots inside a tin can,
yeah,
and get a slingshot, right, and hope it makes it to Heathrow. You have a fucking strap and you stand up on the flight from Heresy to Hope You Get Theresy. That's it. And it was on an airline that I didn't even think existed. I thought it was a joke from television. He has already flown on Ryanair. That's not a joke from Schitt's Creek. It's a real fucking airline, Ryanair, with real FAA problems. Yes, with real reports of mechanical and pilot
so he's
error.
Already done this in lawsuits. If you're currently in a lawsuit with this, you can't get a job here. He did the stand-up flight already?
He did stand-up flight with Ryanair. I think that was the one to London. Again, it's all loose because I hear about it after it's fucking done. So then I was like, how about this? How about this? If you're going to Italy, I'll buy you a ticket. Let me buy you a ticket. I want you alive in Italy, please. And yeah. It's the hubris of the youth. He's the one that went on that sewer tour. He didn't know what he was doing.
The sewer tour by Oldest Spaghetti.
I mean,
in another language.
And I've got the other one. I've got the other one in college who was doing equally stupid college stuff. He was telling me, I shouldn't say this because it's very troubling. Some kid in the hallway, he found it funny. I found it not funny at all. Some kid in the hallway, they were what they call pre-gaming, when that's partying before you go to the party, right? So they were pre-gaming for some fucking thing. And some kid in the hall, either trying to be cool or because he's really stupid or maybe both, started snorting energy workout powder, like creatine, the stuff that, if I'm saying it right,
creatine's
we
a
have
thing,
tons
yeah.
of energy workout powder in this house. So he was snorting that in the hallway. So snorting white powder in the hallway of your residence hall. And he got written up and then all this other stuff, and they couldn't believe it, and they were just laughing at him. And also they were saying, because didn't even do anything. I'm like, what's next? Tide powder? Like, at a certain point, you already know
Stop
that
being
Tide
dumb.
is not
Stop
a high agent.
being
Like, nobody
dumb.
needs to try this. Yes. Stop being dumb. When you're on a plane, you need a seat. I told you last week they wouldn't let me fly without a headrest for the stewardess. Come on. We got room for you on the wing.
So
Just
how
you
is
take
it
this
kosher
buckle,
to
stick
do
it around
that?
your neck. I mean, it's ridiculous.
Like on a subway,
I
their
don't
strap
know.
hangers.
I guess I'll find out.
Yeah, I need picture. I need all of it.
Stand up flight. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Oh, fuck.
Yeah, it sounds crazy. I'm gonna wrap it up, flip it, rub it down by telling you, I'm incredibly thankful for you this year, Amy. I have seen you. Although I could have seen you this weekend while you were in my neighborhood, and I actually went to the restaurant last night where you went the night before, because my daughter wanted what she wanted, right?
Crazy.
I am thankful for you and your friendship and your tolerance when I say, no, I'm sorry, we still have to put out a new episode, and I'm sorry that you're busy and you have a life. I do not, and you signed on for this bullshit. You will be here. I am thankful for your friendship, love, and being able to come here and do this with you every single week. So thank you for that. And thank you, dear listener, for downloading us and coming back every week, or at least lying to us and telling us you do. Amy would be most thankful if while you're at your Thanksgiving table, you stole all the phones and AirPods on the table. Ooh, that's an Amyism. And you downloaded us on all of your family's phones too.
That's a good thought. You're going to be gathering with larger groups of people than normal over the next week. And if you're listening to this podcast en route to those folk, thank you. We're very grateful to be in your ear holes and in your brain and in your heart and in your laughing belly whenever you carry us around. And if we're giving you anything to think about or enjoy, spread that to someone else. It helps you because you're helping someone else to enjoy something you enjoy. And it helps us to continue knowing that this is a worthwhile endeavor. As Melissa has rightly pointed out, this ain't no easy task. She is incredibly busy and does the lion's share of the effort on this podcast in terms of bringing it to market at the front and the back end. She's a front and back end gal, guys. Yeah,
6 dicks, friends. 6 dicks.
I'm saying you. And she's only got 2 hands.
And
imagine the effort.
3
she's
holes.
putting out for you.
3
She's
holes,
putting
6
out
dicks,
for
you know.
Jesus. All right. So the levels of my gratitude for you cannot be summed up at this already overtime end of this show. But I am just going to say one of the things I am most grateful for in related to this show and worthy of bringing into this conversation is the fact that through creating this with you, I have gotten to know you on so
You're gonna
many
make me cry.
different hub and spoke levels. You're like a beautiful little sun with all the rays bursting out, and each one is a new thing to discover.
A
I already
sarcastic
loved you, so-
pinata, if you will.
that's right. I don't choose violence, right? I love this. And the joy that you bring to my life through the discipline and the rigor and the challenging questions and the ability to be vulnerable here in this space for myself with you and with others and for others is extraordinary. The kind of feedback we get from this show is niche, but it is valuable and impactful and really, truly transformative to the folk that we're connecting with. And that's why we're fucking doing this. We're not out here trying to be the next whatever. You can tell by our marketing that we are not out here trying to be the next whatever. Because if you, like we, had even once thought, if these guys would just do some marketing, they're so much better than all the other podcasts that are out there. It's true. We've won awards for our sound, for our content, but no one hears about us because I'm a lazy motherfucker that doesn't actually put the time into doing the thing. So maybe this year I will match my gratitude with some effort, and then there will you go. I was listening to Smartless on the ride home. It was because it was Steph Curry, and I thought, I got a car full of testosterone. These boys will enjoy this. It was unlistenable. It was so bad. And I thought, you have everything that you need to pull this off. And you're still sitting around holding your dicks? Come on.
Talent, sponsors, you have it all. And you're all still talking over.
It's a very good, very well-produced show. That episode in particular was not among their best, is the only critique I'm giving. I'd still say give them another shot. But you know what? Back to us. I am truly, truly grateful for you and for the little show that could, which is Brilliant Observations.
We think we
so
can. We think
if
we
you
can. We
join me, if you join me in that assessment, please open your face and tell one other person in person, try this, listen to this. And they'll go, yeah. And they actually won't. It's like telling them about a wine or a sweater that you like or music. They'll think in the moment, ooh, I should write that down. I should do that. And then it's gone and they never do it. So Melissa, again, is right to say, give me your phone. I'll just open your podcast player and subscribe you and put it in there so that the next time you're saying, what should I listen to? It's actually there. And that's a very helpful thing you can do. And don't you want to be helpful on Thanksgiving?
Damn it.
Don't you want to be helpful to others? Damn it. Are you a sadist? Be helpful, fucker.
I didn't hear anything after Melissa was right again. I just glazed over. I was like, maybe sometime this week I'll hear that. We love you guys. We're grateful for you. Come back next week. We will tell you how good that fucking macaroni and cheese was and if I got that dick massage. Take care. I need it. I want it.
Bye. Here's what I know of the little that I know.